Hi everyone, welcome to Smart Math Online Tutor. This is the third video of my geometric construction series. So let's get started with construction of angles. Through this video, I am going to tell you how to construct an angle of 60 degrees, an angle of 30 degrees and an angle of 90 degrees. At the same time, we will also see how to construct an angle of 45 degrees and an angle of 120 degrees too. And meanwhile, I am ready to tell you how to construct the angle bisector and the process of copying an angle. So let's go into the video. The first part of this lesson is to learn how to bisect an angle. Bisecting an angle means we divide the magnitude of the angle into two halves. So the first step is place your compass at the vertex of the angle like this and draw an arc to cut both the arms of the angle. So you can do it like this. Now move your compass to the first point of intersection of the arm and the arc and draw another arc in between the two arms like this. And with the same length you go to the next intersection of the arm and the arc and draw another arc to cut the previous arc you drew. The final step is to join the vertex of this angle and the point of intersection of two arcs you drew before like this. So this red color line bisects the angle into two halves. Now let us see how to construct an angle of 60 degrees. This is the most simplest construction in this topic. First, draw a straight line like this and bring your compass to one of the corners of the straight line. Then, draw an arc like this. Without changing the length of the compass, come to the point where the arc touched the straight line and cut the arc like this. Now, the last step is to join the point at which you place the compass at the beginning and the point of intersection of the two arcs like this. So here we have simply constructed an angle of 60 degrees. Next, let us see how to construct an angle of 30 degrees. To construct an angle of 30 degrees, we need the two previous constructions we learned. First, as we learnt before, we construct an angle of 60 degrees like this. Draw an arc. Without changing the length, cut the arc like this. So now we have constructed 60 degrees. But we need 30. You know 30 is half of 60 degrees. So what we do is we bisect this angle of 60 degrees. For that, we go to the first point where the arc touches the straight line like this. Then we draw an arc like that. With the same length, we move to the next point where the arc touched the straight line before, and then we cut the previous arc we drew like this. So this point of intersection and the vertex of the previous arc must be joined like this with a straight line, and a part of now this is 60 degrees. Initially we constructed 60 degrees and now we have bisected it. So each of these, the two angles on either sides of this red line are equal to 30 degrees. So I hope it is clear how to construct 30 degrees now. The next part of this session is to see how to construct an angle of 90 degrees. So this would be very easy if you have followed my previous video on geometric series related to perpendicular straight lines. So first what we do is we draw a line, select a point on the line, place your compass on it and draw two arcs on either sides of the point you selected like this. Then move your compass to one of those two arcs and draw two arcs as we do when we draw perpendiculars on above the straight line and below the straight line. So it will look like this. Follow the same process at the next arc on the straight line and join the 2 points of intersections of the 2 arcs above the straight line and below the straight line. So here we drive the 2 arcs from one of the arcs on the line, and then we have moved on to the next arc like this. Cut the 2 arcs up and down. Finally, we have to join these 2 points of intersections of the 2 arcs using a straight line. So here we have constructed an angle of 90 degrees and we can mark it as well. In the next part of this lesson, we are going to see how to construct an angle of 45 degrees. For this, first of all, we have to construct an angle of 90 degrees like before, and then we use the angle bisector to get a 45 degrees angle out of this. So once when you construct an angle of 90 degrees, place your compass at the vertex of the angle like this and draw an arc to touch the 2 arms of the angle of 90 degrees. Then place your compass on one of the 2 points at which this new arc, the red color arc, touches the arms of the 90 degrees angle, and then draw an arc like this. Without changing the length, you move your compass to the next point where the arc touches the straight line or the arm of the angle, and then without changing the length, remember you can't change the length, and cut the previous arc you drew like this. So finally what we do is we join the vertex of the angle of 90 degrees and the point of intersection of the 2 arcs you have drawn like this. So here we have bisected the angle of 90 degrees to get an angle of 45 degrees. So you can mark it like this. The next is the construction of 120 degrees. So here we draw a straight line like this. Then take your compass, place it at one of the ends of the straight line and draw an arc of somewhat lengthier, because 120 degrees is greater than 90 degrees. That means it's an obtuse angle. So then without changing the length on our compass, we draw an arc like this as we did with 60 degrees, and once again without changing the length of the compass, we draw another arc on the first arc we drew. So here we have marked 260 degrees. That means we have marked 120 degrees. So then we join the corner of the first straight line and the point of intersection of the second arc with the first arc we drew. So here we have constructed an angle of 120 degrees. Hope I made myself clear about construction of angles. See you with another interesting chapter of the geometry construction series. Until then,